Yes. This is all perfect. Okay, so yeah, this is fine. I'm back over here at this dark forest mixed with a pale oak garden. As we have over here a lush cave, as I kind of encountered a little while ago. Now, it's been a little bit since I've actually uploaded a video, and here we are, as I've been trying to figure out what in the heck to do. And one of the things I was wanting to try to do initially, I kept going over me reaching too far too early, as I was wanting to do some builds where I was actually taking chunks of land out of the ground and proceeding to bring it up into the sky, powered by purple crystals and whatnot. So it's more fantasy, sci-fi, hybrid. And, well, here we are where I've kind of come into the problem where I have to have certain things such as blocks, and as much as I have blocks, I am rushing into all of this. So, I decided I was actually going to go figure out what in the hell I was going to do, and one of the things I know I need to do is I need to come over here and actually get a hold of some moss. Now, as you can see, I have coordinates on my actual hotbar, like above my hotbar. What that is the compass. It was a data pack I installed a little while ago, which is, I believe, better compasses. Compasses have a much better use inside of this add-on, as it lets me be able to make sure they stay up to date and useful by telling me what coordinates I'm actively at and where I need to go for certain things. Now, everybody at this point probably knows about the entire respawn anchor and whatnot. I'm not respawn anchor. What was it called? Lodestone. But with the lodestone, one is able to use a compass to be able to mark out where they are. Otherwise, it lets you be able to, well, direct you back to being your world spawn. Now, it's hard to tell when it's going to be night here. I've never been in here at night. I've only been here once before. That's those stars. So, I decided to come down here because the fact is I needed moss for things, and I haven't actually just went down here. So, there's that. And I don't mean the pale moss, I mean this stuff. Hopefully we can find a giant drip flower. If that's, what's it called? Drip flower? No, drip leaf, and then I forget what it's called. Okay. But either way, here we are, as we have a lot to explore, we have a lot to acquire. But yeah, this compass adds a little bit of more versatility to compasses, as lets me be able to have them much more useful. Now this has a lot of clay in here, which is one of the things I actively need. So in doing so, I'm actually going to be going down here anyways. I got some clay beforehand by using dirt, but that took a lot longer than what I would like, just for a few stacks, as I had to wait for it to actively dry. And I'm glad that it is a mechanic. I'm glad we can just pick up any form of dirt and just turn it into clay. I am glad, but I'm also a little bit tired of trying to get it because it takes a while. So, clay, here we are. I'm actually going to be collecting from here for a little bit. Though it is looking like a better option to actually take out all of this water first. So yeah, moss is one of the things I wanted to get a hold of because it is a very good cosmetic block for things like roads and whatnot. As I'm trying to say, it's really good cosmetic for terrain, making it so we can cover pumpkins and stuff, as I have my place that I'm using to help light it up. I wanted to expand out with a bit, and you are not helping here, you Endermen. Yeah, you get irate with me all you want. Okay, I have to have a block here. Got it. Yeah, I want to get down here, and then I see more iron, which is of course always appreciated, especially since I did bring an enchanted pickaxe with me. One that just so happens to have fortune, which helps a bit in this situation, though sadly it doesn't help with the clay situation. Clay does not actually give you any more of the clay balls other than what it would normally give, being 4 at max. And this is very deep. Maybe I can get some of these. Be nice. Blueberries. But with all this does come down to the problem that I have to collect this stuff. And because I just figured, why not start here? As I do want to build outwards of my world, but I just don't know what to do, as I feel like I'm trying to reach too far at the moment. As I've been struggling trying to figure out what to do with the actual build for these flying airships, using technology mixed with a mix of magical mumbo jumbo. And here we are, trying to figure it out, not working, and figured why not, this seems to be the best option. Now, I've been watching a bunch of people play Minecraft, as I do quite frequently, and one of the things I'm actively encountering is I'm watching more for the study side of how building's done, not so much of trying to make myself better, because the fact is, sadly, as I've kind of come to learn myself, you can't just get better by watching people. You can't just follow any one person's advice to be able to become good at building. You have to just do it yourself. And I think I've improved a lot over the years, but as it stands, there are certain things that need to be done, which is me just building. Unless I build, I'm not going to just actually improve, and if I don't improve, well, it's going to be boring. So, just being able to do this in question helps. There's already a bit of clay. I don't know how far down this does go, my zombies are there. So yeah, I'm just going to speed through collecting a bunch of clay. Okay. Ow. I died. So that happens. You seen stuff spawn? Okay, this is ridiculous. Leave me alone, leave me alone. Can't even pull up my freaking coordinates. What you seen pop up in the chat menu was a series of coordinates leading me to my death, as I have a add-on that lets me be able to have a few things happen. Not death on my account here, leave me alone. What this does for this add-on lets me be able to have a gravestone pop up instead of me losing all my stuff, because that stuff was useful to me. Hey. And this is why I had it left on. I can get it back. It doesn't despawn from my knowledge. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm back here finally. So, beyond falling, which wasn't the plan is get in, get out. Get in, get out, that's all. And I have 2 deaths, as you can see. Yeah. So get in. I'm in. How in the hell did I think I could do this with other one beforehand? I have no idea. But get in. And then get out. Should be hard. Yeah, it should be. Judging by the fact I got blown up last time. So I learned that I was not prepared for this crazy stuff. Where did it drop my stuff? See, I hit the wrong button. See, we were at, we need to go 24. Okay. Did I go down here? No, I did not go down there. Thankfully, because there's lava there. Where did I don't remember. Okay, that startled me. Like, bad. Fish. I don't have any weapons. Retrace my steps through here. This is a bunch of torches. Whew. Okay. My stuff. Thankfully. Okay, I'm going to stick here for a moment. Okay, I got a lot of stuff that I need to be organized. All of a sudden, the axe goes there. Let's see, pickaxe, axe. Okay. Startling me was not necessary, but you did it anyways. Let's quickly get rid of you. Let's see, what else can I get rid of? Fish. You need to be kept. Okay. So, a heart attack later. Here I am. That was stressful, as when I died, I just so happened to respawn directly, as everyone would expect, immediately at spawn. Now, spawn just so happened to be a deadly nightmare, as I seen upwards to 12 skeletons spawn as soon as I got there, and like 6 creepers. And that's not even counting the zombies and spiders. It was death. Makes me wonder how people play hardcore. How did I expect you to play hardcore when it comes down to that being such an issue? But yeah, all I came in here for was a bit of blocks and some plants, and that's it. And yet, I was already facing down with the chance of total and utter annihilation. That being said, I'm glad I got my stuff back, and I'm glad I had this add-on for this specifically. See, I have everything, thankfully. Okay, so I need to... I'm not gonna keep this furnace with me. I need to take you, put you there. Piece of coal in there. We need 3 pieces smelted for a bucket, as I did encounter a axolotl. I'll go over here real quick and actually take a quick look. Worst case, I just have another extra bucket. But yeah, right there. Yeah, right here. Hello, buddy. Let's get this smelted real quick. I didn't think to bring a bucket with me. I was thinking of space management. And instead, here I am, making a bucket. Take you... Yes. Hey, Bill Boy, where'd you go? Creepers. Little boy? Hello? I don't see the axolotl anymore. And I'm getting paranoid of the creepers. Where'd you go? I see you. Yeah, good luck escaping me. I have a little bucket planned. So now I have an axolotl, which is cool. I didn't come here for one, but I'm glad I encountered one. Let's switch you here, and since it's fairly bright over here, I'm going to sleep. Does this turn nighttime? No, it is nighttime. Okay then. There's another advancement acquired. Not that I'm exactly trying to get them all, but we may. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, let's head home, as I desperately don't want to lose this stuff. What happened last time is what's the fact I died. I don't know, do I need to shoot this? Oh no, but give it. Give it. Where am I getting rid of carpet? Get rid of the carpet. I can get more later. It's fine. And I go after that iron, but I have... No, I got room. Okay, come on. Give me the iron. Iron's precious to me. The number of projects that are going to require iron in the future is insane. As I do want to try my hand at making a Java iron farm. I built a bedrock iron farm, as they're kind of easy to build, but also easy to mess up. As the one I would build inside of bedrock, of course, only required a handful of villagers, and that was it. But in here, it's less villagers are technically required, from what I've seen. But inevitably, the more you have, the more it produces. Supposedly, you need like zombies or raiders, whatnot, and you'll be good. So I'm kind of wanting to do that, but it takes iron for the hopper mine carts. So yeah, I'm gonna head home to the best of my ability, because I am here. I am in a very problematic situation. I do not understand how I would have went through this using just leather armor. I wanted to initially go here using leather armor, and that's a carrot. Dang it. Okay, what do I have? Give it a sticks. Okay. Done. Dusted. I should have brought bundles with me. I have only, for anybody who's been watching these videos, I've only recently gotten to the point of actually using some of the newer updates. And not because of lack of them existing, it's the lack of me actually having a game that I can actually play it on. As I've been using mods, locking my versions down a little bit because of that. And when you're doing things like Cobblemon, when anything you do can... Okay, so that's just regular leaves. Anything you do can mess up a mod by trying to update, and especially when you're talking about several mods all in all. Like I was doing with Cobblemon, it so happened to be so heavily modded that unless certain things actually updated, I'm looking at the create mod there. I would not be able to update beyond 1.20.1. And it's fine. Any skeletons. Or a skeleton. Yeah, that's fine. It's just I wanted a little bit more than just that. Let's see, Savannah Village. We need to go which way? We need to go to negative 1485 by Z250. So directly this way. Got it. Level 1 is in a straight line. As soon as I can get to the village itself, I'll be able to get back home very easily. So I'll kind of meet you up there because you're going to see a cut. Well, I'm just going to have to walk through a bunch of forests. Okay, we are currently back here at our home base. Currently back in our leather armor because we don't want to just waste our iron, as not really many things just kind of spawn here. It's kind of hostile. Periodically we've had some raiders come in trying to actively steal this land for themselves, so I've kind of crafted it into my own utopia. I say that loosely. Let's look at it. Looks good, looks good. Looks good for the trees. It could be better. I didn't mean to walk in that. Needs some work because I wanted to put some vines around it to help give it a little more floral feel. And that little bit of a flower which we did acquire. I forget the name of it. Is Droop Flower? I don't remember. Spore Blossom. That was the name, wasn't it? See here. Spore Blossom. Yes, I cannot obtain them natively without going into lush caves. But, at least as far as I know, there's no other way. But inside of here, I want to actually place one and give it a little more of a scenic feel. Put it right in the center there. As I can go ahead and do, as this place is almost done. As I want to be able to have some of the vines grow outwards, give it a little bit of overgrown feel. As I have those here, don't I? I do not, for the life of me, remember where I put them. I'll get to that in a moment. But currently, we have a melon farm we need to actually make. We just got a carrot, which is thankful because the fact is, on the next few stages, we'll be moving closer into the enchanting age, as we'll be having villagers kind of plotted around here as we do proceed to go build any form of building. Now, this is nice. It's pretty good. And did I put the... No, I did not. Well, as I was going to say, as I proceed to build out, I want to inevitably start taking into consideration builds for certain job blocks. I kind of burped. I've been a little gassy. So, I had oatmeal. I had raisins, peanut butter with it. I don't know if that actually helped with the gassy nature. But, yeah, it's just, I kind of want to build up this place as we proceed to go along, giving this a much more lived-in feel, as one of the things I kind of have learned and wanted to try doing is to get certain villagers laid in, but inevitably in the end be able to have them have a proper home. Make it feel lived in and not just a big waste of space as I've kind of been making these builds. Like currently, that is useful, my house is useful, this is useful. But on its own, they are kind of lackluster and missing a lot of intricate detail of being lived in. We're missing, the best way I can put it, trying to get this from my head into reality of how I'm thinking this. It feels lonely. And I know the entire thing of the world and whatnot, but the entire build feels lonely. Now, as that can be a big problem when it comes down to something like this, I want it to feel lived in. I want it to actively be something worth doing. And trying to get this to actually happen, I need to make it to where builds have uses, more than just being a place to be able to store my items like here, or a place for me to be able to actually call a home to have a decent cosmetic outside build if I do say so myself. I am, because I do believe I did a decent job in comparison to my other builds. But making it to where it's lived in is going to be a challenge. Okay, we can put you there. What about a moss block then? That's something I'm curious, because it would blend in much better if it was a moss block than a dirt block. We'll see. Okay, let's see. I keep forgetting. Moss is here. Dirt is over there. Okay. So let's see. We have vines that are going to be starting to grow, as some of them are already starting to. I don't want them to go all the way down. I want to have them grow all the way down first, and then I'll trim them up. Anything's kind of set there. There, and then there. Much better. As with all the leaves and little particle effects, it starts to look really good. Okay. But yeah. Like, say, hypothetically, I'll be taking string around here since it's nearly invisible. Like, I want this to be the top out for this spot. I'll just put a piece of string underneath it. That's kind of my thought process. And boy, does the particle effects extend. Wow. Go back a little bit and they disappear. No, they just blend in real well. So tiny. So, another thing I need to do here is I need to start working on the path here. I'm not satisfied with Minecraft's path block. This here looks okay. It looks okay, but inevitably as I can build up, all these slabs don't blend in the best, and I kind of want to do them a little bit differently and get things laid out differently. Now this is good for laying out a path, as it is a path block. But laying it out versus being able to actually use it for my building is different. So I'm wanting to inevitably take all this up, sadly, take all this up, and proceed to plant down some different blocks. I'm wanting to use a bit of earthen tones as if it's been built and traversed a bit more than what it should be at times. As I do have other blocks in mind, like if I go here and we have dirt, I want to use some coarse dirt, which I don't have immediately on me. I can make. It's not hard. I've got plenty of sand for this. But I also want to use some of the mud blocks. I didn't mean to place it down, but with it being here and existing, throw this thing away, I can just, since I'm going to be doing this anyways, I'll take my shovel, which is nearly broken, and eat. I don't want this to be just the green grass connected with a yellow tilled dirt field. If I go ahead and take this out, which I need a new shovel for, this will give me back exactly, or almost exactly, what I put into it. And I'm missing stone. Where did I know I have some. I don't have wood. That was my problem. I put up my wood, I don't have sticks. I used up my sticks. I used them. But yeah, what I want to do is take up some of the path blocks, get them kind of laid in, and inevitably get some dirt, some packed mud, specifically some coarse dirt. I want to try taking in a bit more of a messy feel. As if I remember correctly, I can actually use spruce to actually transform to be able to make a large patch of, I forget the name of the dirt type. As soon as I can look it up, I will look it up. But with this dirt type, it looks very messy and almost leaf-ridden, which looks good in my opinion. And these are not staying here. These bushes are not staying here forever. But yeah, if I like do this, we can start having a bit more of a messy feel to it. As I can then take some dirt, which I have in my inventory, and some gravel, which is going to be duplicating a lot of dirt at this point. You'll do. We can make coarse dirt. take this, coarse dirt. And let's see, once I get back over there, we are able to plant down just a little bit. I want to leave some spaces as I'm going to be actually having this be a better dirt pathway. I like this. I like it. Ow. I still gotta do something with these. I keep walking into them. They keep doing damage to my armor. Honestly, how do you think this armor disappears? Things haven't been shooting me, trust me. So I need to get a hold of a bit. Well, I'm gonna need to get a hold of the big spruce variants. I forget. It's. I don't remember the name. So I'm gonna have to do that a little bit. And once I'm done, I will kind of just get with building, and you'll ever be able to see it. So yeah. We'll see about that. So, see you then when I get finished with this, so hopefully it's soon. Okay, so I got a bunch of it, and it is pot soil. Pot soil, that's what it's called. I've never freaking used it. And for this here, I just put it here anyways, to see how it would look, and it looks decent. I forgot you need silk touch for it, so I had to use the silk touch pickaxe, and it didn't break thankfully, but I did have to repair it as it was getting quite low. It was in the red beforehand, and well, because I'm breaking 3, it lasted much longer than expected, so I was able to actually repair it without having to sacrifice it or anything. At the levels for it, and we're good. So let's go ahead and clear out some of this because we do have a lot of dirt we need to actually put down. We are busy here trying to figure out what we're doing as a builder, so we are having to go through and actually place down blocks that look more cosmetically pleasing. I think that's good for this little lay-in. We need gravel, as I still of course need to know what to do with you. I need gravel to be able to actually make the coarse dirt, which we'll be using some of the dirt here for anyways. As a block in question, I've never used a lot of these before, and most of the time I actually stick to modding quite heavily to be able to fit my usual needs. As my needs typically are very heavily built upon the fact that I am currently trying to get certain things up and running as the idea. Like, okay, I want to play Pokemon, I want to play as a vampire. You know what? Let's play an RPG. And I kind of just go about my business doing that. And it works. It does. It's just, it doesn't work the way I want it to sometimes. And because of that, it's annoying at times as you try to actually do what you want and it doesn't work out the way you intend. This is life. And because of this, I'm having to really learn that maybe it's just easier to like not do that. Like, you used to certain patterns at times and you kind of get into them and your groove kind of is running. Like, my groove has been around modding for the longest time. Like, Cobblemon, for an example, has been a very big thing I've modded, and though I haven't played it lately, it's still a big thing. Like, I've spent a lot of my time modding and trying to get certain things working because I wanted to run to be able to mimic certain things. Sometimes you want to play an RPG and you just can't. Here we are. So I've been really doing that too much, and this series is heavily about just trying to play more vanilla. Especially with the fact we're currently upwards to the pre-release of 1.21.6, which I'm excited for because we're finally going to be able to make leads a bit more useful thanks to the Happy Ghast, along with being able to actively make saddles because we should have been able to make them. I'm sorry, we should have, but we weren't able to. It's kind of redundant in my opinion. And the change of string only for a lead is okay. To be honest, it's not like it's been hard to acquire leads. But to each your own, not needing slime balls. Slime balls are really sticky, not stretchy kind of deal. Even though we do see the slime stretch a lot. But yeah, doing this, I want to actively build a lot more cosmetically. As I've been slowly but surely, as it has been there, experimenting with new block types there that I haven't actually used. I've hardly used copper. I've used deep slate before, but never to a great extent. Like these patterns. I've never used triple logs before. I've never really used chains. Tough wasn't in the game for me to be able to use for so long because I decided to mod the heck out of it. So it's been problem after problem for that one. So I'm happy to be able to finally be able to use such things, as it's kind of my own doing that I haven't been able to. And I am also appreciating the fact that I've decided to take things slower, because as it stands, I've been rushing so much. And one of the things I was worried about with this here is, okay, I've been making it to where so far the last 2 episodes I've made a build. Now, what is this build going to be? I don't know. Give me a break. Come on, brain. Give me a break. So I go about my business trying to figure it out, and I just can't seem to think of anything. And that is partially because I'm trying to pressure myself into the mindset that I have to rush around and be able to get certain things done. And I don't. The only one causing this being a problem is me. So it's kind of an old habit of mine. As things kind of progress, I want to break this as a habit. And I'm trying. No, it's not exactly easy sometimes. It's the thing I have as a habit. And in doing so, I want to try using more blocks than I typically use. As currently, I'm using plenty of blocks, but I feel like I'm using so much more. Like here, I'm using Podzol. Podzol, is that how you pronounce it? I'm using Podzol. I'm using the mud blocks. I'm using coarse dirt, which I don't ever use, and though it's kind of difficult to acquire Podzol because the lack of a steady, renewable silk touch, it is really nice. This kind of gives a more grown and walked over feel. So that's just kind of a insight of something I've been dealing with and trying to work my way out of. As now this kind of looks like a very walked over, worn, you see bits of leaves and dirt as if it's actually been walked over a lot. Carriages could have went over it, depending on what your theme of the world is. And that's perfectly okay. So yeah, that's just a little bit of insight to why I'm doing some things the way I am. And as it stands, this has so far been fun. More fun than what I've had in a little bit for Minecraft. And I blame that on the fact that I'm finally just taking the time to play slower. And playing slow is not always a bad thing. In my case, this is actually a good thing. Which is where the entire fact I was struggling trying to figure out what this episode was going to be about. As I was struggling trying to figure it out, and one of the important things I need to do that I've been kind of overshadowing, thinking, okay, I gotta get a build out, I need to get something built up big. This is decently sized, not exactly huge. Took me a little bit. This here is much bigger. I built 2 episodes in a row, I built things, and it's nice, but just the small little details of being able to build like this is what I'm after. Not my own pressure to maintain a high-end, high output. I am not the best builder in the world. It's evident. Look at this stuff. This crane is a little bit atrocious. You can tell it's a crane, that's the important part, but it looks a little atrocious. I accidentally paused the game. But yeah, as the night's coming close, this is a bit of a thing. It's a problem I've had. And I'm liking how the ground is kind of turning out because of this. I wonder what other types of blocks I can use. I need to get moss. That's what I need to do. Get moss. Another thing. I'm not wanting to do this side because I want to go over to the farm here. I do. But beyond that, I want to leave it be because I don't have too much planned this way. That way, on the other hand, I do have a bit more planned outward. I do have more path blocks. I have plans. I'm going to make a bridge to go across that gap. I feel it would be nice, especially if we're going to have a build over there, which I would like to have one. So, without further speaking, this is just something I need to try and get better at. My own personal demons of sorts, as you can put it. And that just happens to be my own rushed habit when it comes down to something that I truly enjoy, such as Minecraft. Which really comes down to being a stupid thing. Why am I rushing myself to play something I enjoy? Bad habits, you know. Okay, we have this path. So we can actually put an extra course here and a bit more of a smooth path inward. These need to go. I don't know where to put them. They need to go someplace. You guys need to go. You're in the way. You're in the way. Just all atrocious looking, so we'll take care of that. But let's see how this finishes up. Okay, so you. I'm learning as I'm going along that podzol should be used a bit more sparingly. I mean, the path's fine, it's here, but I do notice that it looks a little bit more worn in places than it should. So, here. You live. You learn. I need a crafting table. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to get this finished and we'll kind of see what we're going to do next. There's something else I need to do. So I'll see everybody when it's time. I don't know what to do is the thing. I'm still figuring that out. Okay, so now that everything's kind of been laid out path-wise for the most part, I decided to create a creative world list to actually try to outline some things. And for the purposes here, because of lag, let me see. Sword, you'll do. I need to get rid of all the cows. I did not realize I had so many cows here. What happened was I kind of made the path and I decided to start fishing a bit because I do have a fishing rod. And I went off for a while. My render distance has been so high that things kind of grew. Come on. Finish. You know what? Hell. It was created from my current world in a moment I'll log out and you can see. But I just want to clear out these. See, yeah, actually, I forget it's like that. Come on, finish. And your turn. As this is not permanent kind of thing, this isn't going to be a permanent place. This one. This is flag. So, I have a bunch, I have wool here and wool dotted out places. The white ones are mostly where my trees are going to be going that I want to have. Like I want one here kind of branching out over here. And this will eventually go because we need that to be able to collect blocks. But going over, I do have some white wool here dotted around because I didn't have another color inside of my regular world. I kind of created this itself. But this is where a small stable is going to be. I'm wanting this to actually be a small stable house. As if It was more of a resident who lives here. Now, this was marked out beforehand when I built it, and I do have marked out currently it's going to be a potato farm. Now over here I've been experimenting a little bit with some blocks, and I like the tough brick and the acacia wood with the terracotta. There is one problem. These go down so far, and this is kind of just a straight drop. Now I do have ores I can collect here. I knew about them before, I just haven't done anything. But it's kind of, at least this was trying to get the outline for it, but this is a little much. I like the pillar kind of deal. And it doesn't really work as well here, but I do think I should keep this part and just have it hooked over. But this is what's going to be branching out forward, as I do want to have several different things over here. I need to trim this down a bit, and these are going to be paths, as I've been using the blue so far for mostly outlining. As going through here, I want a path to be gradually drawn as over through this way. There is the village over here. I forget the name of biome, Savannah Village. But there's a village over there which we need to link up. Now, I like the fact this is just a hole, but I do feel it needs a lot of work. As if I go down, it is just a straight drop into doom. So this is where I got my first buckets of water, trying to get things laid in, at least if I'm surveying. I came over here and we have all this to work on. Now, I don't think it's going to be for the bridge here, going to be exactly like this. Now, why don't I just build around? Well, I want to level this out a bit, get it a bit more smooth. I want this to be more of like a open docking area for like ships, airships specifically. As it's here for cargo to store temporarily for this small little village, and we have our ores and stuff here anyways. So, that's kind of the idea at the moment. With this, we do have several things to keep in mind though, as the bridge is going to take some negotiating. I like the gradual increase. The stairs don't work as well as I'd hoped. Maybe slabs. But it's because of that entire gap that they kind of leave. So, taking into consideration the gaps, we can know that I didn't think about it being the whole block either. Okay, so it's kind of screwed. We can just choose to bring this over an extra. That'll have to do. That'll work. Yeah, I like the entire idea of the acacia wood being used a bit. And I like the entire idea of these topped pillars that I've kind of seen being used by a few people, as they look nice using the tough. They're kind of like brick, but a little bit, being honest, more a little bit kind of pixelish. I don't know how you call it. But at the moment, this is what we actually have. Now, as the sun's setting over here, I do need to figure out more about what I'm going to do. And that's going to be my potato farm, and as things kind of progress, I'm thinking potentially working over here being a beetroot or carrot, because I finally got carrot, thankfully. Gotta love how this works. I don't know where I got one carrot from. I remember I got the potato from a zombie. So yeah, let's quickly log out here and go back into the actual official world. Okay, so trying to work out how to be able to actually do this correctly. I don't know what I'm going to be doing too much over here. I do want to use more acacia wood in my build. It kind of works what I'm going with, almost a, right now, western, at least what it kind of looks like. I'm kind of doing with the entire paths. A bit more of a western styled steampunk kind of deal. Now, I really need to tackle this. This is a problem. So, I'll get to you in a little. Now, we do have our paths here, as they're not exactly all laid in. You need more of an outline still, which a shovel's a shovel, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be mattering much. We do have beehives to harvest. Ooh, a lot to do, a lot to do. Okay, so let's quickly gather our gear, our blocks, because I want to actually get a lot of this kind of done. Take a stack. I need to dump some stuff. I've been getting XP. To be honest, one of the things I was doing with fishing was trying to get XP, as I kind of wanted to get certain enchantments online. I lost my Silk Touch pickaxe, as you can easily see. I didn't break it, I swear. It, in short, came to being a problem. My world glitched out. I don't know what happened. Currently, I do have a add-on to stop carpet from interfering with books or bookshelves, and that's helpful. But we do have a great number of books here we can just enchant from. But I was breaking a bunch of these down, trying to get things a bit more organized at the time, trying to see if I could actually reduce the level cost for certain things in here. But we had a problem, as when doing so, it proceeded to bug out. My computer locked up, and well, one thing kind of led to another, and well, being honest, I've kind of been stuck here trying to work things through. I lost the bookshelves and I lost the pickaxe altogether, so I'm stuck here trying to what to do a little bit. I did get some name tags. I have 2 names, ironically. If I go back up here, we have the other one being Misha. We have Yasha being the blue one, and then we have your child in the middle, which I don't have a name for. I didn't even intend for you to actually be a thing. Move over here with me. Come on. Separate you two. Separate. You want the pink collar? I don't have a name for. But we have Misha, we have Yasha, and then we have you. I don't have a third name tag because they didn't exactly give me one, but let's see. How am I gonna spell Misha? I don't remember where that name would be spelled. I didn't exactly plan for this too much. I just kind of found dogs and dogs. So let's see real quick. Okay, well not. That works. Misha. And I'm just going to, well, I mean, there, but let's see. Yasha. Yasha. There we go. We have Misha. Yasha. We still need one more name, but we'll get to that in a little. Misha. Yasha. We're gonna have to build a doghouse for you 3, so you're gonna eventually have your own little room, probably. So we need to dump our seed. We need to dump a lot of stuff, as I didn't exactly dump everything because I've been really busy doing other things at the moment, trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing. But either way, we have a lot to do. We need I want the fences for this this little stable of sorts to actually be made out of acacia. I feel that would look really good and work out well. I'm gonna put. I'll take this shovel actually. Speaking of, what do you have available? So I need to plan out properly. I'm breaking 3. Not exactly great. So there's that. I'll be using spruce for my tools. Where did I put that shovel? In. Oh, it's in my inventory. Never mind. You need to go up. Okay. So much. But yeah, this path here will be winding through the world, and I want to gradually change this from being a more dirt-like appearance and eventually move it over to being a bit more of a stone-like appearance if we get the actual main city, as it's more the countryside. Well, over there is going to be the actual main town that we're going to have. Being a bit more lived in, being stonework. Plus, these blocks right here are expensive. I mean, just look. It takes dirt and Silk Touch. I don't have Silk Touch anymore. I could get it back, but I don't have it anymore. So, yes, let's quickly plant this down, as I do want to take a quick gander to see how this is going to look. Okay, that should do for quick looks. Okay. The entire idea is we're going to have this going around here. Now, it's not going to be the best stable. As right now, this is going to be used as a placeholder. The entrance is going to be right there. As, yeah, you can see I can just walk through. It's not exactly the best stable in the world, but it's what I have. I'll think about moving over one, possibly. Leaving a little gap here. We can actually have fence. And need more. You know, and it's nighttime. Let me quickly bed. Okay, let's see. That's not what I want. I'm gonna use it for sticks, actually. I need sticks. Never mind. Sure, that'll do. And seriously. Sleep. My cat block's on apparently. Okay, so the entire idea still is to use this as appropriate for storing horses. I have some saddles now, thankfully, so I do have some ways to be able to actually traverse this landscape a bit easier. I don't want this to just be left being nothing but fences. As I think going around here is fine if I just kind of level this out a bit. Like, yeah, that's fine and all. I'll have to do some improvements because I want to actually have something broken up a little bit. But beyond that, for a little color change here, I think I should... Yeah, I'm going to use spruce a little bit as well, thinking about it. Give it a little different color palette. I don't know how well it's going to work. But usually when I think of a ranch, we have a house with a fence and a sort of archway of sorts. And that right here is what I want to try to do. Kind of cover these up as well a little bit in a while. But yeah, something like this. As we can actually have something hanging here. Maybe a bell. I don't... Do we have a bell? That'd be nice. I'm starting to remember that I have a bell. Yes, a bell. Yes. Okay, so over here we should have a bell. Then our odd building block, we have a bell. I took one from over there. I remember now, because there was two. Okay. This is coming along well. So, now with this actively here, we can plant you there. But I do feel just you on your own here is a little bit of nonsense, looking at it. What should we put here? Stones, grindstone. Maybe a grindstone, actually. That sounds like it'd be nice, actually. You can't hang them. Oh, that sucks. Can't hang them from them. Okay, how can I do this? I can put you there, but not on. Hey. So I don't have an extra grindstone. Okay, how can we use grindstone to our benefit? As I do want to use them, I just don't know how I'm going to. We'll see eventually. Okay, so either way, we're gonna have to figure out how to be able to handle this. So, I'm thinking strip, right? stripped actually looks nice. Okay. Okay, yeah, stripped's nice. So we're going to use stripped. We're going to take some more. I might have had stairs beforehand. I don't know. I'll use them anyways. Let's see. Yes and no. Not what I wanted. Okay then, do it this way. And bam. That looks nice. So I'm gonna have to really figure out how to be able to stylize this a bit better. Either way, let's continue. Okay, so I've been doing a bit of work here, and I haven't made this yet, as I've kind of shown in the tester world I have, creative, to get an idea. But going over this path here, this has evolved a little bit more beyond, which I want to put this out for being path there as well. Make it connected, just haven't done it yet. But this has kind of evolved past the initial idea and has moved over to new territory. I love when this stuff happens, actually. So here we are, we have our brisk path all the way over to this new house. We wind through as we get to what looks to be a weird, almost steampunk house of sorts. As you walk over here, we have a big gear. We've also got over here some pipe work, and what looks to be here a generator that, truthfully, accidentally place it down. It actually functions, as you can see. There was a stack plus 1 cobblestone. It actually works as a cobblestone generator. Ta-da! I seen this base design to kind of look more like a generator, not a cobblestone generator, as a form of power source, which is ultimately what sparked the idea. As we have over here a small stable which has some saddles I fished up. It has a water trough, if that's what it's called. Along with, I forgot to wax these. I haven't really messed with this much, so here we are. The inside's not much to speak of. The inside being kind of bland up here, but up top here, which I need to finish up working on, put some shelves and put a painting over here. Beyond that, it's kind of done, as we have a little bit of a bedroom and some storage here. We have a fully functioning, if I take off my leather tunic, right here, and I place it down right here, I can actually put shirt and pants, so it does kind of stick out a little bit. I don't know how I'm going to fix that if I want to. Otherwise, we do have an actual working place to put our clothes. So we have that. We have a bed here. We have signs for connecting. We're going to have a potted plant here, or a lantern, which actually sounds like a good idea. We have a small desk we need to actually decorate, which I'm going to put a book there, as this house that we are actively in, because as I said, things have evolved. If I go down here, which I need to get to the nether to be able to actually continue, we have a nether portal kind of being built here. Once I get finished, I'll have it toggleable so I can actually turn it on and off. And yeah, we'll have a bunch of pipe work here, some technical stuff to be able to get it working, at least cosmetically, as this house is actually owned by a researcher of technology and different dimensions, as they've done their work and been able to actually work through alchemy to be able to make a portal to the nether. And in doing so, they've actively been gone for a while and have left this place here alone. Now, it hasn't went to ruins yet, but we have a portal here that once complete will be able to be lit up whenever needed. Now, with that in mind, I may just leave it on just to make it cosmetic there, I don't know. But this is owned by a almost mad scientist, as he drove himself insane trying to get to this alternate dimension that he found, known as the Nether, inside of Minecraft. And he proceeded to actively get lost inside. Now he's lost into the Nether dimension, not to be seen again. All across from our house, where we have a bunch of crops that are actually been growing, and of course our living quarters here, which I need to finish up in my bedroom, and our storage container. Since his disappearance, more houses will have popped up, this one included, as new people have moved in here from the small little town, as it has now become a bustling hub of research and technology. Though a smaller town, still actively in its own growing stage, it has progressed further beyond its normal limitations and now become a small little farming town, where ships proceed to come around and actually dock and proceed to actively store their cargo here and export from here for all of their crops that are actually grown here. Potatoes, wheat, beets, pumpkins, melons, so on and so forth, honey. And in doing so, this place here is a little bit of a mystery. No one knows what it's for. By the stable here, it is assumed that there would actually be a horse of some kind, or a donkey, which I want to actually acquire some because I know some are, real quick. And in doing so, they proceeded to leave this place alone. We're trying to figure out what it was once used for. The gear in front, once used to turn for generating the power from the generator itself, has ceased to stop, as it's been left alone for so long. Now, that's kind of the idea of the story of this place. I want to try a new roof design, one I've never done before, as I've gotten this outline that I found online for several different house roofing designs. And I like it. I may actually alter the chimney though for the generator a little bit and make it to where it actually has a bit more of a puff of smoke coming up. I believe you put a hay bale underneath. But over here we have a donkey, wherever it kind of wandered off to. Where are you? I seen one a while ago. Donkey. No, you're not going to put it on immediately. It's been a while since I've gotten one. I'm going to need a name for you. And I believe we can give them sugar or whatnot. Make it easier. Come on. Stop being stubborn. There we go. Not that fast. But here we are. Now if we go over here, we can get ourselves a horse. That's something I want to do real quick before anything else is done, as I've been working on this for a while. You don't jump high. Hey. I'm just gonna break this, land it back down. Slowly but surely. And it did now. But, no matter what, defenses are not going to be going around the entire place, as this is mostly just a place that has been used and no longer actively lived in. The pathing to it has actually been left untouched, as it actually was placed down there by the original creator of this house. It's proceeded to thus have been no longer lived in, has proceeded to not change much, as new travelers have come around and tried to investigate this house. Some have tried to live in that house, but they've been kind of weirded out by all the technological stuff. Now, the reason why I can't finish the interior until I get to the nether is I do need to get a hold of brewing stands. I need to get a hold of quartz for a bunch of redstone material to be able to actively make it look like it is a technologically advanced house instead of just being a place like a cauldron. Come on. Yeah, I know you're stubborn. I'm gonna need names for the donkey and the horse. Oh, you were much easier actually. Ooh, and you're fast. Okay. This is the fastest horse I've seen. Ooh. And you can jump okay. Nice. Your health is not too bad either. Can I get in here? No. Gotta do it this way. Okay. It's gonna be annoying. Yeah, stay there. So now I'm gonna need names. I'm gonna have to get you some armor, which I could actually make now if I want. Let's quickly pop out and make some armor for a horse. Hopefully in the future, because I've seen that saddles becoming craftable, we'll be able to actively have more armor types made. Now, I do have some dyes, and I think I have one set of dyes in mind. Is it 5 or 6? I don't remember. I've only really made horse armor once. I didn't think that was gonna work. Leather horse armor. Oh, my bad. Wrong pattern. I need 7. The window. Let's see. Now from there, from here, yes. 7. And put you back because I don't need to enchant right now. Okay then. So with 7 leather, we can make horse armor. And now we need a dye. What color? Do we have dye in here? We have glow ink sacks. What to dye this color? What to dye? Okay. I'm thinking we need a red and a yellow for this, as we will have red, yellow. We're going to put it here. We're going to do red. If I'm not mistaken, this will, because I didn't know, wrong color. Was it blue then? I've only done this so much. Oh, and I have red dye here. Okay. So do forgive. I didn't know I had dye there. Yes, that's it. I was making purple. I couldn't remember which one it was in here. If it was yellow or red. I mean, yellow or blue. Okay, so now over here we will have our horse wear armor, as you are now our battle steed. A purplish pink. Yes, our steed is ready. Now eventually you'll be upgraded to a much more beautiful blue armor. But for now, you have leather. And that works perfectly fine. So yes, I'm going to pick this up real quick because I don't want this to be left behind. I used it way too much. And this will actually end this episode off, as I've had a fun time trying to get this actually built, but I do have some ideas I need to do. Such as I need to make a bridge, I need to actually start leveling this out a bit, as this is our cave system. It leads down there to the deep dark. And inevitably I need to get the potato farm kind of set up, not for food purposes, because I have plenty of food, but mostly just because I want to actually have all of them set up when I get to trading. Now I may put a cleric in here, I'm not sure. I'm still working on that. I might put a cleric in there as, well, later on, as if he or she has returned from their journey, this scientific researcher. As they've returned from their journey in the Nether and actually come back. Now I don't know if I'm going to do that. I may, as I want to actually dot houses around and make them a bit more useful instead of just being like empty here. Because this is nice, this is good, it's just, I want to have more than just empty houses. It's just how I am. So, until next time, hope you stay well, don't get sick, have a fun time, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.